had to get out of the conference that I just went to. It's freezing in there. I don't know why they always make it so cold in conferences. So now I'm sitting in my daughter's van, and it's nice and warm. Feels good.
So you're coming to us live from the van.
I am live from the van.
Live from the van. All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. I got my partner here, Andrea McKinney. She's out in Michigan. I'm back in North Dakota. Wow. We drove all day yesterday, Andrea. We drove from Spokane to Fargo.
You and the dog.
Me and the dog. Yep. And it was a good drive. It was a good drive. I'll tell you, the traffic at 3:00 in the morning is a lot heavier than what most people would think.
Oh, what road do you take over there?
Interstate 94, all the way.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, traffic. I mean, you just think that, who's driving around at 3:00 in the morning, but there's a lot of people moving around. It's
crazy.
It's not just trucks hauling stuff across the country. I mean, there's just people traveling all over. And I'll tell you where I thought the traffic was especially heavy was across Montana. The whole trip, wow, people in Montana, there's license plates from all over the country there.
Wow. I was going to say maybe they're exiting California.
They're leaving everywhere. That's what my friends out in Montana told me, that people are moving in from all over the country.
So how is it around where your son lives with the fires and stuff? Has he got smoke there pretty bad?
It was really smoky, Andrea. When you looked outside from his deck, you could see like 2 blocks, and then the tops of the trees were blocked because of smoke. It was that bad.
Makes for hard breathing.
Yep. So he had an air purifier for his house, thank God. But he has to. I mean, he's lived out there for a number of years, and this isn't the first time there's been a fire.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So it makes it difficult to breathe, like you said. And right now, during the time of the coronavirus, they tell us that they still say that's one of the major symptoms.
Right.
Right.
So it would be hard to distinguish if you were living out there.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, people are, they try and, focus the blame. Oh, it's due to this. Oh, it's due to that. And somebody told me, they said, well, it's because of the global warming. And I said, no, I think it's because somebody lit a fire.
Global warming.
Right. How does global warming have how does it know to stop at the Canadian and Mexican borders?
Right.
Pretty smart climate.
It doesn't have an immune system.
So, yeah. Anyhow, let's not go down that road, because we'll spend an hour or two just talking about that.
Right. That's a different call.
That's a different call, different subject, and it probably won't be on this channel.
Right.
So, as I was driving across the country yesterday, I thought, well, what are we going to talk about on the call tomorrow? What's going to be the topic of review? And I really thought, what a great time to talk about the coronavirus and improving your immune system and all of that, right?
Yeah. We've got that great special going on this month through Sisel, where you and I get products for an immune package.
What is it?
It's an immunity pack.
Oh, tell me what's in it.
Got Influence, Body Shield, Age Pill, the Lime hand soap with, I think it's got thieves oils in it. And what else is in there? Oh, the new household cleanser. That fantastic stuff that you can clean just about everything with, non-toxic. I think there might be one more thing in there that I forgot, but it's a heck of a good deal.
Right. Oh, wow. Good deal. That's what we need. Everybody needs to improve their immune system. Even Dr. Fauci from the National Institutes of Health has come out finally, he's come out and said, hey, you need to take some vitamins to improve your immune system. What do you think
about that? Only took 6 months.
Right. So, we've kind of been on that bandwagon for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
it's important.
Yeah, your immunity is important.
Yeah. Let me bring up that study. So, for people who are unfamiliar with it, I'm going to bring this up. Hang on one second. You can probably see my screen here, but let's see. So here's the study, Andrew. It's not in Valvoline magazine like that ad there, but a pop-up ad, but it's in Health magazine. And it says Dr. Fauci says it's fine to take vitamins C and D to boost your immune system, right? And, of course, he's against other vitamins, but he says take those.
He says it's fine. Okay.
It's fine. So he said here in the middle of the screen, it says, if you're deficient in vitamin D, it does have an impact on your susceptibility to infection. I would not mind recommending, and I do it myself, taking vitamin D supplements, but that's not all. He recommended another vitamin. He says the other vitamin people take is vitamin C because it's a good antioxidant. And so if people want to take a gram or so of vitamin C, that would be fine, he says, as well. That would be fine. He said there's clear evidence that vitamin D does help fight off respiratory infections. Senior scholar at Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security tells Health magazine. But the link between vitamin C and the immune system is less clear. Yeah, but it doesn't hurt. That's what they say. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it was pretty clear before 1930s.
Yeah. So here's what I wanted to bring up. So they're saying National Institutes of Health, that's where Dr. Fauci works, by the way, data analysis specifically found that while 18% of people are at risk of having inadequate levels of vitamin D, 5% are at risk of having an actual deficiency. What do you think of that?
Just 5?
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I thought it was much higher than that, actually. I always hear that most people are low in D.
Yeah, well, here, that's what I was gonna show you. So this is from Healthline. It says, according to a 2011 study, just 9 years ago, 41% of adults are deficient in vitamin D.
Sounds more normal. Mm-hmm.
So according to this, they're saying that 41%, Dr. Fauci is saying 5%.
Can't say anything about that.
Well, I can say something about that, and I am. Right? It says if you're
like he's been wrong before.
Yeah. If you're Hispanic, it goes up to almost 70%. And if you're African American, it goes up to over 80%, Andrea. So look at the common risk deficiencies for vitamin D. Having dark skin. Oh, being elderly. What part of the population does the coronavirus seem to be hitting?
Nursing homes.
Elderly, yeah. Oh, being overweight. Isn't that most Americans, over half? They say it's like 60% of us are overweight. Not eating enough fish or dairy. Wow. Again, most Americans. Living far away from the equator. Oh, that's you.
That would be me and you. I had a fly in here. It's driving me crazy.
Always using sunscreen. Oh, wait. Don't they tell us to wear sunscreen even if you don't go outside?
They do. They tell you to slap that stuff on all the time.
Yeah. So they say people who live near the equator and get frequent sun exposure are less likely to be deficient.
Yep.
Right? So I thought that was an interesting study. So anyhow, folks, there's that. I thought that was interesting. So let's look at this. So this is from an article. It says, according to the CDC and the United States Department of Agriculture, the USDA, 9 out of 10 Americans are deficient in potassium, 7 out of 10 deficient in calcium, 8 out of 10 deficient in vitamin E, 50% of Americans deficient in A and C and magnesium, A, C, and magnesium. 50% of the population deficient in vitamin D, regardless of age. 90% of Americans of color are deficient in vitamin D. And approximately 70% of elderly adults are vitamin D deficient. Andrea, what's that tell you?
That you should take some vitamin D.
Yeah. So then it says here, it says, well, if this is on vitamin C now, because Dr. Fauci says that, you could take vitamin C. He doesn't recommend it, but you could do it if you want to. And it says, while deficiency in vitamin C is relatively rare in developed countries due to the availability of fresh produce and the addition of vitamin C in certain foods and supplements, it still affects 7% of adults in the United States. 7%.
Is that what Fauci said?
This is off a Healthline.
Oh, okay.
7%, in my opinion, is quite high because, I mean, if you're a gambler at all, if you have a 7% chance of losing, you take that into consideration, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, would you take a little bit of insurance if you knew you had almost a 10% chance of losing?
Yeah, you always play the zero.
Yeah, and so anyhow, I thought that was kind of interesting. And it talks about vitamin D deficiency. It plays an important role in insulin production and helps with cancer and all these other things. And if you get enough sunlight, it's not a concern. I'm like, where are they coming up with this stuff? One study says that you're not getting enough, and the other study says that you're getting too much, But according to the recommended dietary allowance, they've changed the name of that to the dietary allowance now, right? Did you know that the RDA was developed in 1954, and it was developed around preventing scurvy and rickets? It was how much vitamins do you need? What's the recommended minimum daily requirement to prevent scurvy and rickets?
I think a lot of people were getting one of those two diseases then.
Yeah. So when they say 600 international units a day, remember, that's the minimum requirement to prevent serious illness, right? It goes up when you're older, right? And so I'm like, holy cow, they have conflicting studies in their own studies. So then I started thinking about, well, what other things besides vitamin D and vitamin C can we use to improve immunity? And I thought about our product, For Restore. It uses L-arginine, and L-arginine is the primary source of the amino acids your body needs to make nitric oxide.
Ooh, so, it's important.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can read this on your screen. I know you're working off your phone, so you probably can't. But for those of you that are on the presentation, those of you that are watching the video of this, look at that. This is published in the National Institutes of Health. It's PubMed, and it says nitric oxide is elicited and inhibits viral replication in pigs infected with coronavirus.
Really?
Yeah, this is from 2010. Yeah, so it goes on to say that the nitric oxide helps with making your body makes these natural killer cells that kill the viruses and prevent the viruses from replicating. Yeah.
Well, we know something else that does that too.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I want to stay on topic here with the nitric oxide. So
okay.
The role of nitric oxide in inflammatory reactions. So this is an article from 2007. This is 13 years ago. So it says that nitric oxide helps to get rid of this inflammation in the endothelial cells, right? So guess what? That's our lungs.
Right? Inflammation in the lungs. That's important.
Yeah. So what do most people think of nitric oxide for?
Working out, I think. On heart.
No, most people think of nitric oxide in terms of like Viagra.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it won the Nobel Prize for that. The studies on nitric oxide for that sort of thing.
I see.
Yeah. So here's another study. This is from No.
Yeah, I dropped you. I was trying to kill this fly that's flying around me.
So this study's from 2005, but it goes all the way back to they're reviewing studies from 1966, Andrea.
That's a little old.
Yeah, and it says nitric oxide is an important signaling molecule between cells that have an inhibitory effect on certain virus replications. Guess what they're talking about?
Coronavirus.
Yeah, significantly inhibited the replication cycle of SARS coronavirus.
Yeah, a lot of people are confused about the fact, that they call it corona, but the coronavirus family's been around for a long time.
Yeah, so this one says SARS coronavirus. It stops the viral replication. And so nitric oxide. I thought that was a really good study to bring up. And then here that the effects of taking L-arginine, right, for 7 days. They go on to say that and that they could see changes within 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought what an interesting group of studies that they had there, right?
Right.
So anyhow, I just wanted to kind of back it up because a lot of times people say, well, Kurt, where do you get your information? Are you just making this stuff up? Are you just trying to sell us products? And I'm like, no, actually, this is what I do myself. This is the kind of stuff that I read up on, and Andrea, I read up on it, and the next thing I do is I make changes in my own life.
Right.
I don't want to get sick.
I let you read up on it and I listen to you, and then I make changes in my life.
Right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with learning from other people. Just like when you share information with me, I learn from it.
Right.
That's what people do, is we should share information so that we can all learn.
Yep. Improve the world.
So you were going to talk about another product too that helps with immunity.
Well, another substance, fulvic acid. Dinosaur poop.
Yep. Well, fulvic acid, yeah, it's when the ancient seaweed decayed into dirt, and you realize that our whole planet was covered with water at one time, and seaweed grew everywhere.
Right.
So in our soil here in North Dakota, I mean, even though we're far, far, far away from the ocean, we have seaweed. They've actually discovered ancient, reptiles here called dinosaurs, and down south
about that.
Down south of me, about an hour and a half, they found shark's teeth in the riverbeds.
Yeah.
But that's all a conspiracy thing. I mean, yeah. Hey.
No, your brother's what do you call that?
Anthropologist.
So, yeah, when I met him, he was talking about dinosaurs and stuff all around up in there.
All over the place. Yeah, Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
So, So fulvic acid, I would say if you want to improve your system, what does fulvic acid do? Well, fulvic acid is found in dirt, fulvic and humic acid, and it's ancient decayed, dinosaurs and plants and animals and stuff like that form into the soil. But they found that it supports a healthy immune system by helping with the mucous membranes and inside your lungs, inside your throat, inside your ears, inside your gut, even inside your organs like your pancreas, any organ that produces like a hormone and that it's lined. It has to have a liner in it.
Okay.
And so it has a microbiome of its own.
Mm-hmm. And this is like compost for those microbiomes.
Like fertilizer. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Throw the fertilizer down,
Yep.
throw the plants in it, and it grows.
Here's an interesting thing I discovered. When March hit, we were all kind of talking about fulvic acid. We've got a couple products that have fulvic acid in it. And I love to go over to Pubmed and do a little digging once in a while. So I went over and I put in fulvic acid plus virus. Very first thing that popped up was a research article. PubMed.gov is a government website with research reports on it. Yeah. And the first thing that popped up was an article that said, yes, fulvic acid helps with SARS. This word was actually in there, bioweapon virus. And I was like, what? And I shared that numerous times, like to people, when they'd ask about things, I'd share that with them and say, yeah, this helps. And about 2 weeks ago, there was somebody else I wanted to share that with. I went back into that website to find it. It was nowhere to be found.
Article's gone.
They scrubbed it. Yep.
Yeah. Again, well, we could spend another hour talking about conspiracy theories, but we won't delve into that subject today either.
No, but we've got 2 great products with fulvic acid.
Which ones are they?
To me, that just shows me that they are effective, or they wouldn't have scrubbed the article, right?
Right.
Spectrum Max, which is our product with 74 essential minerals and antioxidants. And
like that article I just showed you, we're deficient in a lot of minerals as well. So Spectrum Max is a great product because it has the fulvic acid and it has the minerals and 40 antioxidants at the same time. And what was the other product?
And the other one is Body Shield. Which is designed to detox the body and correct some issues with DNA, I believe.
Yep, and it helps with boosting immunity, and your immune system is so important. As they're showing, we talk about senescence and senolytics and the science of senolytics, and when you talk about senolytics, when you talk about senescence, cells going into senescence, you can't talk about the subject without bringing up the immune system.
Right, because it all affects everything else.
Yeah, because it's your immune system that grabs those senescent cells and takes them out of the system, takes them out so that now your stem cells can replace them with new healthy cells. And so if you have a deficient immune system, it's not going to work. And as the articles that I just showed you, they're showing that over 50% of people, based on the studies that I showed you, are deficient on vitamin D. And the other article that I showed you is that if you're deficient on vitamin D, you're going to have a decreased immunity. So if you have a decreased immunity, then let's put 2 and 2 together. The article that says that the immune system works with senescent cells, doesn't it say that you're going to have more senescent cells in your body?
Yeah.
And you're going to have a problem with getting old.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, to bring up that immunity pack again, it's got influence in it, named influence. So you have the word flu in there. And I think the main ingredient in there is like elderberry.
Elderberry.
Which I run into that all the time. People are always like, well, I just take elderberry. Well, here we have a product that not only has that for your immune system, but Tom surrounded it with other things that actually support it, so it has a more synergistic effect.
That's right. Yeah, that's the whole thing, you know, that once you get to know about Tom, like we brought up vitamin D, and people might say, "Oh, you guys have a vitamin D product." No, we don't.
Nope.
No, we Tom did not with Sisel. We don't have specific vitamin. Here's a vitamin D or here's a vitamin C. We make formulations.
Right.
Tom is a master formulator, so he puts the vitamin C into our multivitamin. So if you get our Encompass 360, boom, it's in there. If you want vitamin D, it's in our product called Balance D. Now, right now with the whole immune deficiency problem, I'd say I'd take an additional vitamin D in addition to the Balance D, because I just don't. Yep. Yeah, I think that we need more, especially right now. We need more. And for you and me, we live up here in the northern climate. Guess what's going to happen with the weather in maybe a couple weeks?
Well, I don't know about where you are, but Michigan usually gets cloudy for 4 to 5 months straight.
Yep. Well, right now, I mean, if you look outside here, Andrea, right now our sky isn't cloudy; it's smoky.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That'll block the sun too, right?
I mean, we're halfway across the country, and we're being affected by this smoke out on the West Coast. But yeah, so that's going to cause us to have some problems with getting enough vitamin D as well from the sun.
Yep.
So anyhow, I thought that was a great way of introducing this, because people ask me all the time, well, what do you do? What do you take? And so the products that we have are some of the best on the planet. I can't say I've compared them to everything. So that's why I say, in my opinion, I think that we have some of the best products. We can't make any medical claims because they're natural products, and the FDA doesn't allow us to make claims. If we were allowed, I'd probably make some claims, but because we're not allowed to, I can't. But they're just some of the best formulated products on the planet.
I agree with you totally.
They make a difference. I talk to people every day that tell me, they say, "Hey, Kurt, since I started taking, whatever product, I don't get sick anymore."
Right. Yeah. So, if anybody hasn't checked out that immunity pack that is available this month at a big discount, get back with the person who shared this with you and ask them for the details on that. Or, if you're already someone who has a website for Sisel, you can just go check it out or call the corporation and find out what all is involved. But there is some pretty good savings on that. If you sit there and add it all up, I was like, wow, okay, I'm ordering that. So I just ordered it.
You just ordered it. Good for you. Yeah.
Yep, you bet. I like to save money.
Got to save money, especially today in today's world.
Yep.
Didn't Ben Franklin say a penny saved is a penny earned?
Yes.
Or he said penny saved is 2 penny earned.
Oh, I don't know if I ever heard it that way.
I think,
but we'll go with that.
Yeah. So anyhow, Andrea, I'll let you close out the call. For you being here with us today, thank you for joining us. And we're here every Tuesday. Andrea and I come back and we try and share important information that can improve your health. Whether you take Sisel products or not. I mean, I think you should, because I think we have the best products on the planet. But, if you take something else, just take something.
Right. Well, make sure it's good, or you're just wasting your money.
That's right. So I'll close out the call, Andrea.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Doc. Thanks for being on here. And like Doc said, we're here every Tuesday at noon on his Facebook channel, Doctor's Clinic, Doc Biz with Friends. Or you may see this shared from YouTube, because he puts it on his YouTube channel also. But whoever shared it with you, just get back with them and find out about all the formulations that we have and what they might do for you and your health. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.